Sorry. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and especially for our lecturer. So, my name is Shazliana, and I'm from MLC Sabah. So today we are going to present the needs analysis for a professional English course, EED 20703 English Language Curriculum Design. So we are going to present our team members. My name is Shazliana.
My name is Janice.
My name is Danisha.
My name is Muhammad Alif Najmi.
And my name is Filza Shezwani.
Okay, so I'm going to present a course proposal titled Aspiring University Graduates in Achieving Professional English. So this course is specially designed to help university students to enhance their English communication skills, specifically for formal and professional manners or settings. So the need for professional English among graduates. So as we all know, English has become a universal language in many professional sectors. So whether you're attending a job interview or whether you are participating in a business meeting or communicating with international clients, strong English proficiency is a must. So however, many university students, despite having good academic English, they still struggle to speak fluently and confidently in professional contexts. So this course aims to bridge that gap by preparing students to face real world communication challenges with ease and confidence. So, for the course description, this course focuses on improving and enhancing spoken English with a strong emphasis on fluency, accuracy, and appropriateness in formal situations. So, students will be trained to engage in formal conversations such as job interviews, debates, international networking, and also in workplace settings. So they will also learn how to express themselves clearly even in unexpected situations. So we combine both language skills and soft techniques such as critical thinking, presentation techniques, and also quick response strategies. So we're moving on to the course objectives. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay. So we're moving on to the course objectives. By the end of this course, students will be able to communicate fluently in English, especially in formal and also professional settings. Apply excellent speaking skills in job interviews, presentation, and also in debates. They will also be able to use appropriate vocabulary and grammar when uh, responding in real life scenarios or in real life contexts. They will also be able to handle impromptu or unexpected conversations with confidence and also increase their overall language proficiency, particularly in formal English. And lastly, they will be able to convey complex ideas using professional and advanced vocabulary. And moving on to the introduction. So, as we all know, the English today is more than just a language. It has become a gateway to academic success, a career opportunities, and also global networking, especially for university graduates. Being fluent in English can open doors to the professional world and even change on lives, particularly for those from unprivileged backgrounds. So as educators, this raises an important concern. How can we prepare students to speak confidently, especially in interviews, internships, or formal presentations? Many graduates leave university unsure of how to express themselves, and this communication gap continues to hold them back. So that's why this course has developed to close that gap and give students to the confidence they need and the language skills that they should be able to develop later on after they graduate. So that is all for my part. Thank you.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Filza Shazwani, and I will be presenting the methodology section of our needs analysis report. So, to collect the data for our study, we use a Google Form questionnaire as our main instrument. This platform was chosen because it is convenient, easy to distribute, and allows us to collect both quantitative and qualitative data efficiently. So the questionnaire was designed in English and it was internally tested by our group to ensure the questions were clear and appropriate for our target respondent. So the questionnaire was divided into two main sections. The first part was background informations, which include name, which was required for identifications, age group, gender, faculty of program, year of study, whether and then whether the respondent had taken English courses before, the frequency of using English in daily life, and participation in any English-related competitions or events such as debates, public speaking, or interview workshops. So the second part focuses on the students' English language needs. These sections include 6 open-ended questions that ask about their confidence in speaking English in front of others in the scale 1 to 10, and then the difficulties they face in formal or professional settings. The third one was whether they feel nervous when speaking in English during class or with lecturers, and then the types of activity they believe will help improve their speaking skills, and then the professional situation they expect to use English after graduating, and the last one was whether they prefer the course to be interactive or theory based and why. So for the data collection procedure, each group member was responsible for sharing the form with 3 university students, giving us a total of 18 respondents, and then we use convenience sampling and shared the form via platform like WhatsApp and email. So importantly, the form required each respondent to write their full name to ensure the responses were valid and not duplicated. And then respondents were informed that their information will be kept confidential and only used for academic purposes. So next slide. Sorry, the previous slide. Okay. So once the responses were collected, all 6 group members were given access to the Google form and response sheet using our Gmail accounts. This allowed us to collaborate on the data analysis, check for any errors, and interpret the finding as a team. The collection period lasts for around 3 to 5 days, and we remind our respondent during that time to complete the form. Lastly, the main purpose of the questionnaire was to identify students' needs, challenge, and preference regarding English language use in professional context. This information helped us design a professional English course that is more suitable, practical, and relevant to the actual needs of university students. So that's all for my part. Thank you, and I will pass the torch to the next presenter.
Okay, so good morning everyone. My name is Muhammad Irfan Faris and I will be presenting my part, which is the questions analysis for part 1 questions. So we have conducted this this survey using Google Form. So the first question we ask is what course the students are studying. So most of them, which is 50% of the respondent, are from the BTSL program, which is makes sense because it's about teaching English. So then we have 16.7% are from early childhood education, and the rest are from different education programs like special education, DTSLs, and others. That shows 5.6% respondent. Okay, so this shows that most of them are used to learning English, but we also get opinion from students in other areas, which is good for our course planning. Okay, so next slide. Okay, moving on to the age group. So we look at their age. Most of the students, about 72%, are between 21 to 23 years old. Then we have 16.7% are between 18 to 20 years old, and only a few, about 11%, are 24 and above. So this means that many of them are in the middle of their studies and starting to think about their future. So this is a good time for them to give them a course that helps them speak English confidently for jobs and interview. Okay, the next slide, which is their gender. So for gender, 66.7% are female and 33.3% are male. So this is quite common in education courses. Even though the gender doesn't challenge the course content much, it might affect how comfortable they are when speaking or joining group activities. So that is why we should make sure the course is friendly and suitable for everyone. Okay, next slide. Okay, so and then we look at what year they are in their study. So most of them, which is 44.4%, are in year 2, and another 44.4% are in year 3. So only one student is from year 1 and one is from year 4. So this tells us most students are not beginners and they still have time before they graduate. So it's the right time to help them improve their English for real life situation like at work or during internship. Okay. Next slide. Okay, so for the next slide, we ask them for how often do them use English in their daily life. So 66.7% said they use it often, 22.2% said sometimes, and 11.1% said rarely. None of them said they use it all the time. So this means that many students are still not using English every day. So this course can help them use English more often and become more confident, especially in professional or work situation. Moving on to the last slide of my part. Okay, so lastly, we asked if they've joined any English activities like debates, speech, or public speaking, and then most of them, which is 72.2%, said yes, while 27.8% said no. So this shows that many students already have some experience speaking English in front of others. So this course can help them improve those skills more. For the student who have never joined these activities, the course can be a good chance to try and learn in a safe place. So that is all for my part. I'm going to pass the torch to the next presenter. Thank you.
Moving on to the next slide. This, for my part, it's question analysis part 2. For the first question, we asked on a scale from 1 to 10, how confident are you in speaking English in front of others? Elaborate. So from here, we can see that the majority of students answer it on a scale of 10 regarding their confidence in speaking the English language. They elaborated by saying that they use it as a daily conversation at home, even in casual conversations with friends, group discussions, and during presentation. This allows them to express their ideas more clearly and fluently. For the second higher scale is 7 and 6. Most of the answers shows a common thing, which is the misuse or improper grammar in a conversation or mispronunciations of certain words. This shows that no matter what scale that was given by the students, all of them have the same common issue with using the English language. Moving on to the next slide. Next, which is question 2, what are the main difficulties you face when speaking English in a formal or professional setting, such as job interviews or group discussions? Group presentations. Here we can also see the majority of students also struggles with pronunciation and grammatical errors, which leads them to stuttering when speaking the language in a formal setting compared to a non-formal setting. This shows that students have a hard time grasping the proper words in a sentence, and they would often rely on a script for them to read out loud, especially during presentation. Students also answer that whenever they feel anxious or nervous, they can't find the words as quickly due to feeling under pressure, whether it's in a group presentation, discussion, or interviews, because of the unexpected question that might be given to them. Moving on to the next slide. For question 3, we asked them, do you feel nervous when speaking English with lecturers or during class presentation? Can you describe a situation? So from here, the majority also answered yes, which indicates that students often feel nervous when speaking with a lecturer, especially in a formal setting such as during presentation. This shows that they often feel the fear of making mistakes of improper or unsuitable vocabulary and grammar during the question and answer session after the presentation. Moving on to the next slide. This leads to students to jumble up their words or get too nervous and struggle to pronounce the words properly. Only a minority answered no by defending that as long as they are well prepared, the student won't feel nervous or even anxious and remind themselves it is for them and not for anyone else. For the next slide, which is question 4, in your opinion, what types of activity would help you improve your spoken English? So from here, we can see that a lot of students provided activities on improving their speaking the English language, such as role plays, watching movies with subtitles, listening to English songs, group discussion, social media, and practicing monologues. So when the students practice engaging with all in this activity that they have provided, it helps them to gain more understanding and helps them to improve their English language even more. Moving on to the next slide, which is the fifth question. In your opinion, what kind of professional situations would you Do you expect to use English after you graduate? So here we can see that a lot of students give various answers, but they tend to focus on the education field, meetings, job interviews, communications with associates, writing in an email or proposal that requires the use of English language even more. The majority answer it commonly, hence this shows that they expect to use it in the future for their jobs after graduating. We see that the English language towards them is a medium to communicate in any type of setting, which is which is in verbal or non-verbal situations. Moving on to the next slide. So, for the sixth question, would you prefer the course to be more interactive or theory based? Why? So here also the majority chose it to be interactive because it helps them to increase the usage of the language by conversing with one another, improving language skills, and it also builds confidence in the students. This can help them to be more engaged with the language rather than theory based, because students can lose interest quickly as it only focuses on the teacher-centered concept when it comes to theory-based learning. Moving on to the next slide. Finally, there are also minority answered that it is better to have a balance between interactive and theory-based courses because it helps them to build foundation when it comes to have a deeper understanding of such as sentence structure, grammar, and vocabulary. And interactive courses can help them to build study interest. So that is all from me. I would pass on to the next presenter.
Sambung na atau ulang? Ulang ya, Bang. Okay. So, my name is Muhammad Alif Najmi, and I will be presenting and explaining on my part, which is discussions. So first and foremost, the data that our group that had gathered from this needs analysis showed a compelling pictures of a crucial gap between students' English proficiency and their preparation for the real-world context, such as professional communications. This is because the majority of the respondents showed a fair degree of confidence in conversing in English, which the findings showed that the rating between 7 and 8 on a 10-point scale. Moreover, they also highlighted significant discomfort when placed in a higher pressure speaking situations, for example, like interviews, group presentations, and one-on-one discussions with lecturers. Although these respondents, they are exposed to the English language on a regular basis through informal contacts, many of them tend to have low level of proficiency in the use of the language, especially because of issues regarding grammar, pronunciation, and also some anxiety. Okay, so next. Okay. So one of the challenges shown by the respondents were difficulties in maintaining correct grammar and pronunciation, especially under pressure. Respondents admitted to relying heavily on memorizations during this formal context. This shows that they limit their ability to respond naturally or to adapt to spontaneous questions. This indicates that they have not fully equipped in their classrooms with dynamic interactions, which are unscripted in their professional environment, such as work. Therefore, the course is to focus on the practical speaking exercises like mock interviewing, impromptu work, and also live conversations to shape the students' ability to be more confident and be able to adapt in real life conversations. So while the challenges are notable, the findings have also shown clarity on what the respondents believe would help them overcome these challenges or so-called preferred learning styles. Uh, the respondents had reported that they participate in role plays, active group discussions, and also using authentic materials like movies, and also listening to songs made learning and using English more engaging and much more effective. Though some respondents emphasize grammar instructions, it is because grammar instructions they serve a strong foundation to support practical language use. The preferences indicates that the course will be designed in a form of blended learning, which will incorporate short theoretical contribution or theory-based lessons with more engagements in the classroom. This will ensure that the students not only emphasize the English rules, but also use them in real life situations. Next slide. Okay, so these learning preferences it directly align with the types of real life situation respondents anticipate after graduations or real life relevancies. Respondents highly mention about job interviews, meetings, formal communications with their colleagues, and also writing professional documents such as emails and proposals. Therefore, this confirms that their language requirements are far from the generic academic English, and it leans towards professional work settings. So in this case, the course must aim at building discipline-related skills, including presenting their ideas during meetings, negotiating during a conversation, and also writing an effective and professional email and also proposals. So next, which is the psychological aspects, has been determined through the analysis, has gone further than the area of language mechanics to show that there are psychological factors that determine the eagerness of students to engage in English speaking tasks. Respondents showed nervousness when speaking in a formal context, especially in front of like lectures. In this case, nervousness leads to negative impacts like hesitations, um, loss of words, or even constant mispronunciations. Therefore, to fix this, the course must be established to provide a low anxiety and supportive environment that would allow students to make mistakes and get better progressively. So overall, these findings emphasize that mastering the English language is not merely a matter of just knowing the grammar alone, but it requires more than that, which is confidence, constant practice, and also constant exposure to authentic communication context. Okay, that is it for my part. I will pass the torch to the next presenter.
Hello, my name is Janice. So today I'll be presenting about the conclusion. This highlights the significant gap between the students' English proficiency level and their readiness to using English in a real world context. Most of the students rate themselves as having moderate confidence in their conversation, while the others experience anxiety and difficulties under pressure, such as during interviews, presentations, or formal discussion with the lecturers. Common challenges include grammar error, pronunciation mistakes, and reliance on memorization. Okay. So based on the findings, from here we can see how important it is for students to have real world speaking experience, including improvised speaking, live conversations, and mock interviews in order to build their confidence and flexibility. Additionally, students appreciate a blended learning strategy that strikes a balance between brief, targeted grammar lessons, and more extensive practice using interactive exercises. like role plays, group discussions, and the use of real world resources such as movies, songs, and social media. This result could ensure that theoretical information supports more than the practical language used. So the analysis emphasizes how important it is to address the psychological barriers that stand in the way of effective interaction. Providing a calm, encouraging environment in the classroom where students feel free to make mistakes and get helpful feedback is important to encouraging constant progress and improve confidence. Finally, this course should be adaptive and flexible for students with different proficiency levels. So, there are a few suggested course features such as interactive speaking practice. Students will keep themselves involved in mock interviews, impromptu speeches, role plays, and group discussion to build fluency, spontaneity, and confidence. The second suggested course features is professional communication skills. Students should focus on real world tasks such as meetings, presentations, negotiations, and professional writing in emails or proposal. And the third one, suggested course features, is the use of multimedia and technology. This could improve engagement and self directed learning by using digital platforms, social medias, music, and movies. By including these features, the professional English course will successfully close the gap between academic English competency and professional communication requirements by enabling students to thrive in their future employment. So that's all from me. Um, Thank you.